Here's how I will make, well, no, here's how I make £300 a week. I've been watching I've been fed a lot of these. I've been fed and I've been watching a lot of these videos on Instagram. Here's how to use AI to make £1,000 a day. All these things. Doesn't really matter, but today's my day off and I work tomorrow. And I have been pacing in this empty apartment for most of the day, pacing back and forth, thinking, talking to myself, and trying to give an honest, how do you call it? An honest look, an honest opinion on my situation right now. Try to think of where I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing. And it's clear that I am heading nowhere fast. Which is strange. It's not strange, it's funny. I think it's funny. Most of my life, I felt like I was ahead in a way. I was ahead because I knew what I wanted to do. And therefore, in a way, I knew who I was. I knew what I was supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. If you have a goal, you know what you're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. And I remember, for example, my brother. He found that recently, we'll say, 3 years ago maybe. Before that, he didn't know where he was headed. And I was the one who always knew where he was headed. And now he is studying architecture, and it's 7 years of study, I believe. He'll do his master's and everything, and so he's en route. He's working daily towards his goal of becoming an architect, and that's really good. He's doing his thing. Me, I went to uni to study film, and I didn't find that. Well, I didn't capitalize on the opportunity. I didn't find that it helped in the end. It wasn't a waste of time because I learned things, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't me moving towards my goal. Not in a linear way, at least. And here I am, I'm 24. I work a 9 to 5. And outside of that, I feel like I'm really floating in outer space with no goal, no plan. And one of the previous episodes I titled "The Rabbit That Chases Too Many Rabbits" or something. It's an existing quote. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. And then I thought about how, I thought about this quote at length and how it applies to me. And also, one thing that you're always told to do is look at people who are successful in the area you wish to be successful and how they got there. And in the creative industries, a lot of the time people have their own specific route to success, and it's very unique to them. But there are intangibles, of course. And when I look at a lot of the people I look up to, did I just say that? A lot of the people I look up to, if not all, really they focus on one thing. They're good at one thing. They're great at one thing. And they focus on that one thing. And so me, I am unwilling to pick a thing. What was it? Master of none was the first part of that sentence. Something master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's where I find myself. Although calling myself a jack of all trades is not accurate. but I have skills in various areas, and I'm passionate about various things, but I'm unwilling to pick one and focus on it in order to get success, to become good enough at it, to be successful at it. And so I did some thinking in terms of, for example, I am in a very lucky, we could say, position. I live at home with my mother, although at the moment she's not here much. She got married a few months ago. It's mostly my brother and I at the moment, because my sister is stranded in Paris. But usually it's the three of us, my sister, my brother and I. The rent is quite low. It's a council estate. The rent is low. And I work 28 hours every week. Right? How lucky am I? I'm very lucky. I work 28 hours, and that's enough for me to be able to pay bills and food, and everything basically. I don't really go out. I did yesterday, but I go out very rarely, and I anticipate not at all in a few weeks. So I only need to spend money on travel and bills and food, which I cut my hours to that low amount because I knew that I needed time to work. A 9 to 5 can be very crushing. It's not even that many hours, but it's mentally draining. You don't have the energy outside of that to work on your own things. At least that's the reality for most people who end up just accepting that as their lives. That's something that scares me. But I'm in a position where I was able to reduce my hours really to the minimum that I can afford. And the goal was to work on my other projects. But at the moment, it's all a mess. And I can't think of there's one project that really I should be focusing all my energy on. I do know that. That's something I know for certain. But apart from that, it's all a mess. But so, working my 28 hours a week, very little, I make £300 a week, give or take, approximately. And £300 a week, right? That's nothing. I just need to find a way to make that £300 another way, a way that's where I'm using my skills, my things I'm passionate about. My fucking back is killing me. I did my squats last week at the climbing gym. Went for my PR. I did 110 twice, 110 kilos, but it's still not impressive. But I think I did them wrong, and now my lower back on the left side is killing me. I feel like I'm an old person. So £300 a week, right? That's nothing. On a 5-day working day, on a 5-day working week, that's £300 £60 a day. That should be very easy. I think we've all seen those people who got rich with crypto, and those videos. You should be rich as well, right? It's dummies got rich. It was the gold rush, and now with AI, it's the same thing. People making those automated channels with just churning out content with no soul, regurgitating information, making a passive income, I guess. But it seems like nowadays people are finding ways to make money in the laziest ways. They're finding the laziest ways to make money, which I'm not here to criticize that. As I was walking around the apartment all day today, right, the one thing I have to focus on, the one thing that matters most is money. Money. That's the one thing. I need to find a way to make, first of all, I need to find a way to make any money outside of my 9-to-5 job with my own skills. I need to find a way to do that consistently. Not thinking about the amount of money yet, but eventually I need to be able to make £300 a week, and then I could quit my job. And really, the more I repeat that sentence, if I make £300 a week, I can quit my job. And there's upsides to my job. There are good things about it, and I'm grateful for it. But I want to quit that job. I don't want to be a waiter for any longer than I need to be. And there's quote unquote unfinished business there. I need to grow still, and that's a good place there for growth. So I'm not done there yet, and I'm not going to be able to make £300, just by thinking about it. But it is insane to think. I know that at some point in the future, I might look back at some of these videos and I'll think, £300, really? Right, that's nothing. Some people get paid that hourly. It's absolutely, it's nothing. And I have what it takes to do that outside of a 9-to-5. Some people don't really even have skills, or they wouldn't know how to use them to do that. Well, I don't know how to use them to a degree, but I definitely have the skills as a creative person, and I have the tools, right? I have everything. It's really just insane, the position I'm in. It's just insane. Something up there, some little thing is malfunctioning. Something needs to be repaired. And then, simple as that. I did this 3 questions relational psychology game. I was browsing on Instagram, wasting my time, did this thing. And the first question, I'm not even gonna actually talk about the game specifically, but the first question, it's interesting. The first question I answered with the color orange, and 3 criteria where I chose this color as my favorite color was it's powerful, it's human, and it's warm. Which the human part, I said that, and I'm still perplexed about really. When I close my eyes and the sun is shining in my face, I see orange. And when I think of how to describe this, a camera going into someone's ear, I suppose it's CGI in movies sometimes, entering people's orifices in science fiction movies, it looks orange. And when I think of same CGI images of the womb and a baby in a womb, there's orange. But it's mostly pink, really. I don't know why I picked orange. I picked human. Anyways, since that day, it seems that I guess my favorite color is orange. Who cares? But the idea is that it's supposed to mimic how you see yourself. It's supposed to be a replacement. No. It's your favorite color, when you answer that question, is a proxy for how you see yourself. Doesn't matter. So the idea is that I see myself as powerful. I was going to say orange. Powerful, warm, and human. Or it's more what I aspire to be, because I'm none of these things. Well, I'm human. But yeah, these are more things that I aspire to be. Which is a strange thing to say. How do you be more human? But I think it's like your horoscope, or like any kind of a card reading or something, right? These things are bullshit. They are. But if you believe in them, if that empowers you in a way, if that benefits you, then do your thing. Just like God. All the people I look up to believe in God, I think. But, right, God is a positive thing in your life if you believe in it and it empowers you. Does God exist? It doesn't. Or it does. Doesn't really matter. It's not something that can be proven. So belief is the only thing holding it in existence. So it exists, it doesn't, there's no answer to that. If you believe in God and it empowers you and it helps you, then good for you. So I've definitely decided, based on the 3 questions and the 3 answers I gave, I've decided to give credence to this little exercise and to use it to my benefit, so to speak. Powerful. Power is something that I think about and I think is very important and that I aspire to for sure. But we'll skip that one. There was warm. And I am a warm person, but I'm not good at showing it. And that's not specific with warm. It's just I'm very stifled and I have a hard time being myself. It's that simple, really. And human is interesting because I remember someone, I think it was on the radio. I was in a car and the radio was on. It was in France, and someone said, it's such a good dumb sentence. It was in French. Les poètes sont les derniers humains. I think it was that. Poets are something like that. Poets are the last humans. Something so stupid that sounds profound, but it's so infinitely dumb. But where was I going with this? The idea of being human. When there's a spectrum, and there's extremes on both sides, and then there's the middle. And so being a robot that works their entire life in a 9-to-5 and gets wasted on the weekend, until you retire, that's in the middle, I would suppose, of the human experience. It's human. It's a human thing to do. Being a crazy person who risks everything to, fulfill their dreams when countless people have failed, and actually risking your lives and your life and everything you have, right? That's on one end of the spectrum. Or I suppose maybe the 9-to-5. No, it's not on the other end. I don't know. I'm not really trying to think about this actually seriously. But what I'm trying to say is being human. There's no way to describe it. I suppose there's a definition in the dictionary of being human. But being human, as stupid as that sounds, just means being human. So me being existing, I'm being human, right? So the question is more, what to me is the optimal way of being human? So not of being, well, by extension, it means what's to me is the optimal way of being a man, of being a young man, of being a creative man, of being, I don't know why I'm attaching man every time, but of being, a creative person. I don't think there is a difference between, being a creative man and a creative woman. There's a difference between being a man and a woman. Being young and old, you bring something different to the table. Being creative. So these are, by extension, my reality as a human. Whoa, where are we going? That sounds so stupid. Why did I have to answer human? I'm still trying to decipher it. I don't know what it means. I don't know. I'm a believer in science for some reason. I do believe, these are the 3 words that I chose, and I have to investigate them to find why I chose them. I have to understand it. Power, right? That's straightforward to me, I think. Warm. I understand I think I understand where that's going. Being more warm. Human is the one where I'm perplexed. Because being more human, or am I human enough? Is that what I was trying to say? Being more human. So tomorrow I go back to work. Go back to my little 28-hour week. And as I said earlier, and as I've mentioned in probably every podcast, work, my job, is like a playground for growth. That's how I see it. Not as a cage, right? Perception matters. It is a playground for growth. I need to make the best out of this situation. And I'm repeating myself here, but, it's not, as long as it doesn't stick, I have to keep repeating it because it's not sticking. Since I started working there, I have grown month to month for quite a while, but I think I haven't evolved in terms of as the things I can evolve while being there. I think I have evolved as a person consistently, actually, this year. But at that job, I've reached a plateau, and I've been comfortable. I told myself when I get comfortable, I need to quit the job. But I'm not comfortable because I have kind of maximized the experience and I've done what I needed to do. I'm comfortable because I've given up on that. And that's a big no-no, giving up. And so something I mentioned numerous times is this idea of interacting with the guests and how it is intimidating for me, it is uncomfortable, and I feel like I keep telling myself that I shouldn't, I shouldn't try too hard because I'll just be interfering with their experience, which I've told my colleague who's really good at it, who said immediately, and his thing is he'll absolutely interfere with people, and at the end they thank him for it. He knows he has something beautiful to offer at the end. He knows he has something beautiful to offer. They always leave satisfied and happy, and it's like magic, really, seeing him work. So he tells me, no, you're not interrupting them. He sees things differently from me. And well, on top of that, I have experienced, the fact that he's right, not only from seeing him work, but me. So strangers automatically appear hostile to me. I see them with hostility, right? I must appear hostile to them, and to me they appear hostile. Now it's all in my head, it's not reality. There is to a degree a sense of guardedness that a lot of people have, especially in public spaces. Now, in a restaurant where you expect your interact with the waiters, less so. And that's why I'm saying it's mostly in my mind. Also, it doesn't matter whether there is a sense of hostility. I need to be able to push through that. But, as I said, strangers automatically appear hostile to me in a weird way. So I'm reticent to engage. Last Saturday, we had this mother and son. He was, I don't know, he must be in his 30s, not a kid. But his mother was Japanese and she didn't speak much English. And for the whole lunch, I didn't really interact with them too much. And she appeared to me to be hostile. Now, part of that must have been that she doesn't understand English that well. She has limited English vocab, and her grasp of the English language was limited. And so she didn't understand everything that was being said. And so that's why she had this kind of perplexed look on her face, which could be misconstrued as hostility or as, not anger, but like disapproval or something. And so, she didn't look like she wanted to be talked to too much, and she had limited English. So, made sense to me that, no need to even try to interact and to kind of work on my skills as someone as a conversationalist, as a human. But eventually I did, and I said, how was the food? And immediately we, we had a conversation. I just got sucked into the conversation. She was very nice. She was interested and interesting. I remember a guest told me that Duncan, I don't know, well, Duncan said to me at dinner, as I was in section 1, I was serving him and I was talking to him and his wife quite for the evening. And he, towards the end, he said, "You're interesting and you're interested." And how would I say this? I would say that was me at my best, but in terms of when the guests are very, warm and they are interesting and interested, it's easier for me to be that. Now, I believe that, I am someone who's interested and interesting, but, well, that sounds very, how would I say this? I sound like an asshole when I say this. I don't give a fuck. I am that, but I am, I'm hiding it. So when a guest is themselves, and, most people are interesting and interested, a combination of the two, maybe some more than the other, well, everyone more than the other. There's no perfect balance. But when the guest is, interesting and interested, and they are not stifled and they're willing to engage in dialogue, then I can be myself, so to speak. And I ended up talking to them about movie ideas I had, and talked about, films and stories and their jobs. And it was very natural to ask them the questions about them. I didn't feel like I was talking too much about myself. So when the guest opens the door, it's easy. I need to get good at opening that door myself, by any means necessary. So, there's a few things I want to talk about on the subject I am on right now. Yeah, when interacting with the guests, so we have people who are really good at it, and we have various styles, I would say, of doing it, interacting with the guests, giving them a good experience. But these are things that would translate to just to your day-to-day life, being a good communicator. Some people will inevitably end up talking about themselves, but they're good at it, so it doesn't end up, feeling narcissistic or anything, or like they're capitalizing on the conversation and just talking about themselves. Once again, they are able to provide a good experience to the guests. And some people, they are able to never talk about themselves, it seems. They are completely focused on the guest experience, and they don't end up really talking about themselves at all, right? And there's people in between. I think, how would I say this? I definitely think I would be in the middle, because interesting and interested, I do want, when in any conversation I want to learn something, so you can't just talk about yourself to learn something. But if you're just, to me it seems a bit weird if you're just asking for the other person to provide content in a conversation, in terms of you just asking questions and you're not divulging anything. It feels a bit selfish in a weird way, right? There has to be balance. And I mean, everyone at my workplace who's really good at this, people I have in mind specifically, they do both. And some are actually good at talking about themselves without talking about themselves, in terms of they'll talk about experiences they've had. And being good storytellers, it's about making you, the interlocutor, the guest, experience their memory, right? So it's not about them talking about themselves. It's about them really telling a story, right? Putting you in their shoes when something happened and you experience a story and it's enjoyable. So these are things that I need to work on, these skills. Being able to keep a conversation flowing. I saw a video, probably on Instagram as well, of a guy mentioning this idea that when you answer a question, you have to think about how that will further the conversation. So someone asks me, where are you from? If I just say I'm from Paris, sure, there's, you can go places of that. Paris is one of those almost like cliche cities. So there is content there. Actually, if it was an unknown city, they could ask, oh, really, how is it there? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I can ask that about Paris too. But the point is actually, oh, I'm from Paris originally, but I've been living in the UK for 12 years. I started We moved in actually in the south, in Morden. We've been making our way closer to the center ever since. And I lived 3 years in Falmouth. I kind of miss it. I'm not doing a very good job at it. But when I give you that answer, oh, why Falmouth? Oh, why this? Why that? There's more ways for the interlocutor, the other person, to push the conversation forward. And I thought that was an interesting idea, one to keep in mind, because I find myself stuck in conversations all the time. I don't know where to go, and it's frustrating, especially when you see people doing it effortlessly. And coming back to the idea of those 3 characteristics I talked about being human, it's like, as a human, that should be effortless. It seems that should, people may have disabilities and things that hold them back, but I don't have that. It should be completely natural for me to have a conversation with someone and for it to flow naturally and to end up learning something and to have a good time. And once again, there are people at my workplace who can do this effortlessly, and me, I'm just stuck. I do it sometimes, as I said, when the person on the other side is quite very open, and then I feel comfortable. But this ability to just immediately kind of break people's barriers down and relate to them personally, and just being honest with each other, I think, is what I would say. This ability to break down the facade is, to me, that's the reason I'm at this workplace right now. That's the reason I've made immense changes since I started working there. But now, the thing with progress, as I mentioned, last episode was called Trust the Process. The thing with progress is, every time you make progress, there's more progress to be made. You don't say, oh, I've made progress, that's it, I'm happy now. So I will say it again, I've made immense changes since I started working there. But those big changes happened last year. This year, there haven't been immense changes. I haven't really evolved that much. And I need to find an approach to really work on this. That's the new step. Being able to have a fluid conversation with a stranger. Which once again sounds weird, You're human. That shouldn't be really a skill you need to develop. That should be normal. But it isn't for me. So that's one thing I need to work on. I have no notes because it's been an uneventful week. And I haven't been thinking about this as much as I should have. Yesterday I went ice skating with some friends. And 5 minutes before my friend, Abby, we were all bad at ice skating, and Abby it was his first time, and he was very brave. He didn't care. He kept falling, and people would check on him and be like, "Are you okay?" He looked like that was the final straw. Every time it looked like, okay, this time you need to sit down and give up. Most people would have given up, but he's this type of person. He keeps getting back up, and he comes to us. We've been there 2 hours, and he says, "I think we should leave now. It's been long enough." He was probably getting a bit frustrated. He was getting better, but he wasn't comfortable on the ice. And we said, "No, let's stay a bit longer." He goes around, and I guess 2 minutes after that, he sprains his ankle. So that's very unfortunate. Abby sprayed his ankle when going ice skating. And it seems that when we go out together, all 4 of us, something happens. Something somewhat memorable. And jokingly, I say it's me. And they repeat that too. Who knows? Do I have a bad influence? But when ice skating, it's really fun, ice skating. The feeling of gliding on the ice, it's quite unique. I've never even tried rollerblades, really. I suppose it's somewhat similar, the motion. But gliding on ice is fun. I have nothing else to say about that. We went to play boating. I suck. I'm awful at boating. Abby was really good. And that's about that. He sprained his ankle. How unlucky. He sprained his ankle. Another thing. I believe it was last episode as well that I mentioned this idea of my philosophy of life, which sounds, once again, philosophy. Just the rules and the ways where I have my notes from last week somewhere. Jeez, that was a lot of notes. Philosophy, a theory or attitude that acts as a guiding principle for behavior. And another one now, in terms of working out. Well, it goes hand in hand with the idea of trusting the process. I've decided now to work out every day. And that goes against the science behind working out in terms of you're supposed to let your muscles rest. Or does it? Wait, like athletes train every day? No, they don't. Hamza Chimaev probably, but I was thinking about MMA fighters specifically. No, I don't know how they do it. But the science of working out is that when you're working out, you're breaking your muscles. And so the growth actually happens when you're not working out and your muscles are rebuilding stronger. I think. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But that's what I've been taught. And is this boy? Yeah, it is recording. Good. So that's why you need to rest. And that's why in the past I would always rest in between a day, in between sessions. And I just found that rest day, my mind state in that situation was just wrong. It was like, oh, today I don't have to work out. Good. Right? It was a rest day. No working out. Good. That's a rest day. I'm happy. I am an extremist. It's either one or the other. I would always end up, not working out. I would end up not working out for 2 days. I would say, oh, it's okay. I'm resting even more. So I'll be even more prepared. And then 3 days, 4 days. And then, I lose consistency. So I'm working out every day because I'm not working out for results. I'm not working out to look better or even to be stronger. Well, I am. But that's not the main goal. The main goal is to actually work out. The main goal is to do it because it feels good. Because, once again, scientifically, working out feels good. You release serotonin, how you pronounce it. It just feels good. It feels really good. I think of times in my life where I wasn't working out consistently, and of times where I am, like currently, and it feels fucking good. I want my desire to do things I shouldn't, to relapse, to eat candy, all these things, they decrease. Especially since my weird approach is, for example, a day like today where I'm at home all day, is I'll do an actual workout session. I'll do a workout session and like hitting the bag in the afternoon. But in between, I'll just do, every time I go by the pull-up bar, I'll do some pull-ups. And I know my brother kind of frowns at me in terms of, that's not the optimal way of building muscle if you're always putting your muscles under stress. But it just feels good. It just feels good. It's as simple as that. It feels good. It feels right. I like it. I like the way I feel. So I decided, so I work out every day at the moment. Because I enjoy it. Because it feels good. Because I'm learning to enjoy the process. And that way there's no, oh, today I don't have to work out, thank you. Because then when I do have to work out, it's like punishment, right? If there's and that's how I work. I'm not saying that's how it is. That's how I work. Whereas if I just work out every day, I just work out every day, just like I eat every day. And there's no emotion attached to it in terms of, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Is this a chore? It's like, it's just something I do every day. There's no, there'll be no thinking attached to it. It's just, I do that every day. Now, once again, is it optimal for muscle growth or whatever? It isn't. But do I feel good? I do. I feel very good. I'm happy. I like it. So another brick in my philosophy wall. I'm hungry. I am hungry. I haven't eaten yet today, and I'm hungry. Is there anything else I want to mention? Anything else I want to talk about? I'm asking myself. Or I'm asking the producer behind the camera, hey, do you have any input here? No? It's okay. Last week I attempted to record a photography on location video thing. It wasn't good. I'm not gonna go out tonight again. I need to find a fucking plate for my other tripod. That was an issue. But, well, going back to the start of this episode, which was, I'm heading nowhere fast, and I need to get my life together. Alright? I'm just gonna meditate on that now. Think about it now. What do I need to do? Alright, I need to make money. It's as simple as that. Making money. £300 a week. The idea was that I would get out of uni and start making music videos for people and charge them, incrementally larger amounts of money, and life's good. It's not working out that way. I take much longer than I should to complete music videos, and I have no clients. So, it should be quite easy for me to charge £300 for a music video if I make good ones, if I'm focused and I deliver on time. But the man that chases two rabbits catches neither. So am I supposed to just focus all of my time and energy on music videos, when I'm finding out that I'm not even that passionate? It's not what I'm most passionate about. Music videos. I thought it was handy, and it was easier because all you need is a camera. Really, that's the minimum. You don't need to record sound, which is difficult, and time, energy, money. Music videos, you just need to record a video, and the sound is already provided. So I thought that's the way. I have a camera and I have some lights and some equipment. But I'm stuck. I'm too slow. Well, yeah, of course it's my fault, but I suppose maybe that's it. The music videos. I need to make music videos. I need to finish the one that I was supposed to finish a long time ago. That's paying well. I need to finish that one. If that's even really on the table. I haven't talked to the artist in a long time. Jibba jabba, talk. Keep talking. I need to keep talking. This is a practice for letting go of needing to sound good. And therefore of learning how to sound good. I'm doing this once a week. I think maybe I should do it more. But, well, if I do the photo videos, that will be another exercise in that same style. But I haven't got much left to say, do I? I got nothing to say. This week, nothing happened. Bowling, ice skating, an injury. That's it. Nothing at work. Nothing. No growth. This is not good. This is the time for me to reflect on eventfulness, on events, on things that happened. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. I spend my whole day walking around thinking about how I am heading nowhere fast and I need to fix myself and focus. It's not even that hard. Alright, next week I better have a good podcast. Actually, next week there'll be progress, for certain. There'll be progress. Fuck, my poem. Oh, I need to learn this fucking poem. I haven't even started. Learn the poem. Some progress. Do things, learn things. Challenge yourself. My brothers, I wonder if you can hear the music from next door. Yeah, another one of these empty podcasts. Nothing happened this week, man. That's crazy. I'm making these videos every week, being consistent now for a few weeks. I need to add things that I'm consistent at. Working out every day. 1 meal every day. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Being a good orator. Being a good orator. Being good. That's the goal, right? Talking. Right, I'm done. Finito.